Vladimir Putin may be back as president, but Russia's street protests haven't stopped. Shifting opposition tactics mean as soon as the demonstrations get busted, well, they just spring up again somewhere else. For anyone with cash, images like these aren't reassuring. Add in the Eurozone crisis, and you have what some investors feel is a toxic cocktail.
The Russian political situation is making people even more spooked from a Russian context. You're not going to put money, when you're scared about risk generally, you're not going to put money into a country which has its own political problems.
$42 billion left Russia in the first 4 months of this year. That's more than half the $80.5 billion that was taken out last year. Russia's MySex stock exchange is down by nearly 20% from March the 14th year high, and the ruble has fallen over 6% against the dollar since the elections. One of the interesting things about this is that the people who are taking their money out of Russia are not those who you might expect. It's not, in the main, frightened foreign investors. As you can see, there is plenty of money in this country generated by cash-rich Russian firms, and it's those domestic companies that are looking at their own country and deciding not to invest. A new, more business-friendly cabinet is expected from Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev soon, and that might soothe some worries. But the government's advisors have been warning of a deeper problem upsetting both protesters and investors. That's corruption.
If you were to advise the Russian government how to survive, it is not to crack down on protesters, but instead fight corruption, become more open and more attractive for business. There is a very simple magic bullet, if you like, just to eradicate corruption in Russia.
If money keeps pouring out of Russia, it will be bad for President Putin's government. But if corruption is reined in, he could accomplish two things at once. Investors would be reassured, and the protest movement may lose much of its sting. Rory Challans, Al Jazeera, Moscow.